Italy in spring, the sun is shining. What better place to kick off the season of GT racing? The Blancpain GT Series, the first sprint round here at Misano, the Circuit Adriatico. 34 cars coming out to play, split across 8 manufacturers, and we have many different driver combinations last year. We've got all the stars, we've got a host of new drivers coming up to play, some even stepping up from the GT4 European Series that supports this, which is great. The KTM racers, 2 of them have got to drive in a Lamborghini, in this, the big show. But one thing that's very different this year, it looks the same from the outside, it's the tyres. What the drivers all love is a new set of tyres to get used to as the cars are about to be wheeled out for practice. The Pirellis look the same from the outside, but trust me, they're subtly different, and that could have a role to play through the course of this season. But as we walk up the pit lane, what car should be pulled out in Italy? It should, of course, be a Ferrari. And right behind us as we walk up the pit lane past a couple of Attempto Racing Lamborghinis is Lorenzo Case and Phil Quaife coming to play. One of the new teams coming into the championship this year. So it's great to welcome them on board. But quickly we move on from Ferrari to Lamborghini, and for Norbert Siedler will be driving this. He's been racing a green Ferrari for years, and now he's got to get used to driving this fantastic looking Grasso Racing Huracan, so look out for that. So again, it just emphasises the twists and change, the driver pairings that have altered. Some of the strongest ones, Enzo Ide and Christopher Mies, they're staying together this year, and that's very useful, carrying that rate of experience. But one of the things that was really intriguing through the course of 2016 was the arrival of the M6 BMW, and of course their day of day, or day and night and day I suppose we should call it, winning the Spa 24 Hours, a race that had absolutely everything that could throw at it, of course including the torrential rain that has for so long been a feature of Spa-Francorchamps, and they came out on top. Let's have a look at this garage. Mercedes getting stronger and stronger last year with the AMG, and of course in the hands of Maxi Buch and Dominic Baumann, they won the overall GT championship. But Hello Kitty, of course, that car will be beloved of people out in Japan. So Yoshi Mori coming over to play this year, take on the big boys on the European scene. Some of the most popular cars out there still looking as they did last year. The cars, the Continentals from Bentley, looking very crisp. That clean white and green livery. See how they get on. But the cars that look least like GT cars, but they certainly go like GT cars. Audis, of course, for so many years, the Belgian Audi Club, Team WRT, entry has been very strong indeed. ISR have been running a couple of R8 LMSs for a handful of years now, and they've changed their driver lineup as well. Rinaldi Racing, green. Of course, they won here 2 years ago, but then the 488 came on board, and we do expect the Ferrari to be very strong here on home ground, not that far from Modena. I passed Modena on the plane this morning, actually, on the way here. Orange One team, Lazarus, they're new to the championship this year. But how's this? Last year, Garage 59 ran the McLaren crew. There is a 59 on the door, but Straka Racing come across from the World Endurance Championship, and they have not 1, 2, 3, but 4 cars coming to play, and some top names among them. Most notably, Alvaro Parent, who is so strong. He was the champion in the Pirelli World Challenge in the States last year. He's flitting across the Atlantic week in, week out doing testing. So he's coming down here to see what he can do. Rob Bell, of course, endurance champion last year, just leaning in to take a look at a car that looks different this year. Looks fantastic in that orange. You might prefer the black with the thin stripes, but great to see some new liveries as well. Now here's one. Take a look at this. We'll swing round, Freddie, and have a look in the garage, because we have Piti Birimbakti. That car very fancy on the left, but you swing around and look at the this one over here, the yellow and blue. How's this? Look at that opalescent paint. The trim there on the Kessel Racing Ferrari, that looks absolutely superb as well. So it's quite good to be having these cars. Of course, Blancpain has Blancpain Asia this year, and I think we'll have quite a lot of cross-pollination of drivers and cars through the next few years. This car here, this Lamborghini Huracan, this is a story. 2 young drivers, they were the stars of the KTM crossbows that were raced in the GT4 series last year, and the top 2 drivers, Marco, here's a difficult name, Helis Kangas and Caitlin Wood up from Australia. They've come up, stepped up to the top championship for GT racing. So great to see how they can get on. Then we move on up to the top of the pit lane, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Audis in a row. Interesting always to see the little twists and turns of the Belgian Audi Club Team WRT race liveries, and you can see Racing Steps Foundation on this. That suggests a young British driver on board. So we'll see, of course, how Jake Dennis, one of many single-seater converts, really gets on as he has a first full crack of the championship. And now we've got to the far end of the pit lane. The session is about to be underway, and this is what it's all about. GT racing, it's growing and growing, and I think we're going to be set for an absolutely fantastic Blancpain GT series.